My name is Mary Ann Rogers and I'm a painter, and welcome to my studio here in West Woodburn. And I'm soon to have an exhibition, part of the art tour, which starts this weekend, the 14th of June, and runs until the 19th of July. And it's weekends, 11 till 5, and you're very welcome to come up here. I'm taking part in the art tour, which is an open studio event right across Northumberland. I think we've got 70 artists, glassmakers, painters, printmakers, textile artists, and not all open at the same time, mind you. So go to the website to have a look. And today I'm going to give you an idea about how I would approach painting a cockerel, which is a subject that a lot of people associate me with, and you may even see one behind. There is one wandering around today, and it could be this cockerel, but it could be any cockerel. There have been many, and I keep returning to it as a subject because it's full of life and masculinity and colour, and I love them. I paint them on their own, I paint them with chickens, and I paint groups of them. So let's hope it works out okay. So, for a watercolour painting, we need paper. This is the sort of paper I use. Watercolour paper, quite heavy, about 300 grams. Brushes, I tend to start with quite big brushes, and then as we get right down to the detail, like eyes, then we go to quite small brushes. And the paint I use is mostly these lovely big chunky pans of watercolour paint, beg your pardon, and they're quite dense in pigment. And there's I usually only use about 4 different colours. I also use a little bit of some brilliant watercolour from Holland, which bumps up some of the colours. So what I'm going to do is try 2 approaches, because surprisingly I don't always start one painting. Sometimes I start 2 or 3 or 4 or even more at any one time, and that way all my eggs aren't in one basket and there's no pressure on. I'm just painting for the fun of it and exploring new ideas. So I think that today I'll start 2, and I've got an idea of 2 different approaches I'll use. So I'm going to get a couple of pieces of paper about this sort of size, and just get cracking. And I've got a drawing that I'll use as my original sort of artwork. I've done lots and lots of drawings. I've got books full of drawings of the sort of subjects I paint, and so I can use them and life. And I take photographs as well, and my imagination, I suppose. Sometimes things are just a bit too sort of perfect, and it's quite nice to create a bit of drama and movement. And if you've never ever painted a cockerel or drawn a cockerel, I would say don't worry about the rules at all. Get the biggest brush you can find and just get as much yellow on your brush and water until it's lovely and, I don't know, wet. And just start putting the shapes that you see in front of you on the paper. And don't worry at all about detail, don't worry about anything other than just colour and movement, and things can be sorted out afterwards, and there are just lots of things you can do to have fun. I wouldn't worry at all about exactly getting things right. Watercolour painting, the way I'm going to do it today, is just like layers, soft layers along soft layers, and then 1 or 2 unusual techniques involving maybe throwing water onto the painting. Every time it's an experiment, but obviously I've got quite a lot of control over my brushes now. I've done it for a while, and I also have a background of drawing. It helps if you're a draftswoman or man, definitely, so that you can trust your hand and your eye. The process of painting a cockerel doesn't really come to an end. I suppose sometimes the phone will ring, and when I go back to the painting I think that's absolutely fine. Sometimes I just flick a bit of paint on at the end, just to somehow take away from all the straight edges and give a sense of those sort of random things that happen in life. And that'll be the end. I usually leave the eyes until the end, so that you can focus right in on an expression, and that'll suit what's happened beforehand. So that's probably about